It's an unlawful restriction. It's an abridgment of First Amendment rights, sometimes subtle and indirect, but always striking at the heart and the core and the soul of the right of free speech. Our society, our so-called democratic society, and our blessed republic can never survive as the Constitution intends unless we have as our first and fundamental right and freedom the unabridged freedom of speech. The unabridged freedom of speech. And there even continue abridgments in the church. Pastors are intimidated, even forbidden, by the so-called Johnson Amendment from the political discourse and position-taking in the church, and especially from the pulpit under potential penalty of loss of tax exemption. The speech of millions is therefore abridged, and constitutionally so. President Trump has issued an executive order expanding the right of religious speech and political speech from religionists. Perhaps the pressure is off, but the threat remains. Whether corporation, profit or nonprofit, or union, or any other entity, or perhaps in our Judeo-Christian country, the very religious institution or church itself, there should be absolutely no infringement, no abridgment of the right to our constitutional First Amendment guarantee of free speech. After all, that right, that freedom is inalienable. That is, it's eternal, it's forever, it's God-given. It cannot be changed, certainly not by man. Perhaps the right is given first to the church and those who believe in that God, and then to all mankind in secular ways. But it is an absolute inalienable right, my friends. Protect it and defend it. I urge you, my fellow Americans, to know that First Amendment, to memorize it, hold it indelibly in your heart and your head, and defend it with all of your might. And most importantly, freely exercise that right of free speech, in healthy, controversial, constructive, stand-up, strong dialogue. That's missing now. It's missing in America. That right can only be born again if we the people stand up and make it happen. That is the only way. So protect it, and use it or lose it. And never forget that freedom once lost is lost forever.
The views expressed here on the Crawford Stand are those of the speaker, and Mr. Crawford really wants to hear from you. He wants to know what you think of the topic this week here on the Crawford Stand, your right to free speech. Tell him in your email to stand@crawfordbroadcasting.com. Be sure to tell him on what station you hear the Stand when you write to stand@crawfordbroadcasting.com. And when you want to review what you hear, go to the Stand page on our website, www.crawfordbroadcasting.com. The Crawford Stand is a public affairs presentation of Crawford Broadcasting Company and the station, serving God and country. And I'm Bill McCartney.
WMUZ.